Clippers are now 13-5, 2.5 games behind the 15-2 Lakers in the Western Conference. To talk about that and everything else going on in this world of sports in Los Angeles that has of no doubt national interest, the columnist from the Los Angeles Times, Arash Markazi. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
I must say this because this is what I have learned in living here since 2003 to another Los Angelino on a rainy day. Thanks for going outside.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I usually
that.
walk across the street, but I drove across the street today.
Right?
But the
Hold on
parking
a second.
situation here is so great, so I did buy
Spoken
that.
like an LA native.
Wow.
I was just going to say.
Like, that is LA.
Are you from here originally?
I am, but listen, we have a weird parking situation at the Times right now, where it's a far drive by Los Angeles standards.
It really is. What can we figure out? Would you mind figuring out how far it is?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
literally,
feet.
it has to be. It has to be less than a tenth of a mile, right?
Oh, easy.
Or a little, maybe
But,
a tenth of a
Rich,
mile.
I don't want to be drenched.
I understand that.
And you do have the
Your
best
hair is
parking
perfect.
situation. It's a very VIP spot.
Yeah, it's
so
okay.
That's,
And you knew that
I
because
took
this is not
advantage
your
of that.
first rodeo here. All right, Don Booth, our coordinating producer, says it is, as the crow flies, 500 feet.
Wait, come on. But it's not from where my car was parked.
Yeah,
to,
by driving,
you
it's
know.
0.3 miles.
Yeah,
I don't
because
need
you've got to
judgment.
You
go.
got to
I
loop
don't need
around.
any-
over.
You would,
Yeah.
you would not walk the way you drive.
Exactly.
It would be different.
Exactly. Yeah. So
But
like
Rich, you
from,
lived here long enough where
I
you
know.
circle around the parking lot to find the best parking spot, and you know.
But I honestly, it's just because, my wife's from the New England area.
Yeah.
I'm from New York. And we have, since moving out here, it's just like, do you want to go out tonight? It's raining.
Exactly.
And we really, it's like, you know what? We'd rather just stay inside. And it's not like it's 20 degrees outside. It's not like a blizzard.
Yeah.
It's just, it's raining. And, and then when the Lakers or the Clippers play on a night when it's raining, the first quarter tip off, people aren't there. They're not there yet. It takes forever because people don't know how to drive in the rain here in Los
true.
Angeles, with all due respect.
That's true.
And at any rate, thanks for making it here.
I am so
hope
glad
the
to be
drive was
here.
fine for you.
The drive back will be fun too. It'll be a fun 500-foot drive.
And then you live out here in L.A. and when it's like the first big rain, and it's just like, like the wipers aren't really working. You haven't checked on it. Well, okay. Now here's the transition.
Would you guys have judged me if I asked for a car service from the Times?
that would have been incredible.
That'd have been.
I would have gone over in my car.
Can I
got
get
him.
a
picked
car
him up.
service?
Yes, it's called
Del
the Uber
The
Del
Prius would
Tufo.
have come over and gotten you back.
That would have been next level.
Man, so the Lakers, I've never seen a team go from nationally considered, what would you say, June dumpster fire
Yeah.
to November champion quite like a Lakers team. I mean, this is amazing how this has all worked out so far, because there's not even the kid Vogel stuff that's going on right now that we were
because you brought
expecting.
up Taco Tuesday jokingly, but I just love how together this team is, and I found that out in training camp and in the preseason, and you don't want to put too much pressure or too much, like it's just the preseason, but they enjoy playing together, and so it was very combustible coaching staff, combustible team. It's been amazing so far. They've been the best team in the league, and they enjoy playing together.
Mm-hmm. And LeBron and Anthony Davis have been terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, opening night was basically the only. I know they've lost twice, but opening night against a Clippers team is really they haven't looked back since that at this point in time.
And I've cautioned people because I said the best team in the league when they're healthy is the Clippers, and we're seeing that right now. And here's the thing, Rich. Defensively is what makes that team so unique. And they were good before with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, but they didn't have that championship chemistry. They didn't really like each other. They were a good team. I think they were a top 5, top 4 team. This Clippers team, when they're healthy, they just have something about them where like they want to stop you, they want to score, but they also don't want you to score. That the amazing two-way players. So the top 2 teams in the NBA, I think, are right here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Denver's 13-3, technically right in between them. Rockets, Mavericks, Jazz are pretty much the ones that are closest to them in the standings. So Anthony Davis saying what he said in Chicago.
I was just surprised by that.
What was that about? When he said, it was just for those who didn't know, he basically said at a Q&A with a bunch of kids, hey, this is my hometown, and next year it's he threw it out there that his free agency, stay tuned next year or something like that.
So it's just like that is a possibility. I don't know why he would say that. I don't think he's going to leave. I think he loves Chicago. So I think maybe in that moment in time he wanted to say, listen, I love Chicago. I'm from here. You don't know what's going to happen. But why even put that out there? That was really the only controversy we've had from this team through the first month or so of the season, and it wasn't really that big of a controversy. And interestingly enough, tonight, people will be surprised. There's a lot of Laker fans in Louisiana, so I know there's going to be a lot of people expecting them to boo him, and they will boo him, but it won't be as bad as people think. I don't think.
Well, and half their team from last year is on the floor there.
Exactly.
And Lonzo Ball, it looks like, is going to play tonight. And so Davis returning there, they will boo the heck out of him.
They will boo him, but I don't think it'll be like. I think people have kind of compared it like LeBron going back to Cleveland or KD going back to the Thunder. They're going to boo him, but I don't think it's going to be as terrible as people think.
Arash Markazi, the Los Angeles Times sports columnist, kind enough to get in his car and drive 500 feet in the rain to be here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm sorry.
It's raining.
I'm mandated to reset that way. My apologies. I do appreciate you being here. So before we move on to the Los Angeles football teams, can you explain to me what the NBA is actually considering about their regular season schedule and their playoff schedule? Because I didn't understand what Woj and Zach Lowe put out there, what they're considering. And Daryl Morey was talking about it on Twitter. I said, I think I need your MIT degree to understand it. Do you know what's going on
I do,
here?
and so it's a little, if you're a soccer fan, if you're a European soccer fan, you get it, where there's like the Champions League and there's also like the league championship. So they want to have this tournament where if you're a novice fan this time of year, where you don't normally care about the league until the end of the Super Bowl, this will give you a reason to care. I just don't know how significant a midseason tournament will be. Like if you're the Chicago Bulls and you've won the midseason tournament, what's the significance of that? In European soccer, there's significance to the Champions League in these tournaments. I don't love it, but I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to, for fans who don't normally care about the league until January, here's a reason for you to care.
But I don't understand. I still don't understand it. So there would be 78 regular season games, but the tournament wouldn't count as the regular season games, or they would.
I don't know. I think they're still trying to. I think they're still trying to
that. Yeah. And then if we're load managing stars, because we're load managing stars in November and December because they know how long of a grind it is to make sure that they're healthy in April and May and June. Yeah. Why would stars not be load managed during a tournament?
Yeah.
I mean, would there be a bonus? Would there be?
There would be a bonus.
Okay.
And there would be a trophy for this midseason tournament. But the issue, Rich, is like, who's going to care about this midseason tournament in year one? It's just like, it's this new thing that they've created, so it doesn't really mean anything to the fans, I don't think, yet. Listen, I get why they're trying to give some significance to games in November and December, but I don't know if there's a good way.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong, and it might cause soccer fans to be yelling at their radio or their television sets, but the Champions League is called the Champions League for a reason.
Yeah, those are the best teams.
So, you can't throw the 5-11 Grizzlies in a Champions League tournament, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you be taking only the best of the best, like maybe last year's top 4 teams?
If they did that would be good.
But wouldn't that be a disadvantage to the rest of the league that they're chilling out, or they're playing regular season games while these guys from last year are doing battle, but then the Lakers wouldn't be involved because they would be, and then would there be relegation? You know what I mean? Like, I read this thing over and over again and still didn't understand it well enough to explain
it. These are great questions, and I don't have all the answers, and I don't even think like the league does yet. I think they're just trying to find the sweet spot for like, how do we make these games significant? Because the season for so many fans begins on Christmas.
Yes.
Listen, if you're a football fan, you're not really paying a lot of attention right now. Unless you're like a Lakers fan or a Clippers fan and your team is good. But again, I get why the league is having these conversations. I just don't know if there's like a sweet spot there where it can work.
Arash Markazi here on the Rich Eisen Show. Is there a Chargers problem here in this town?
There is a Chargers problem, but I don't think it's solved by going to London. I think, listen, I was part of this generation of fans that the league ignored. During this 21 years, they did not have a single preseason game here. They didn't have training camp here. They didn't do a thing here. And the Chargers and the Rams come back into town, and they expect us to be hardcore fans. Like, there's no hardcore fans. Now, there may be Rams fans who stayed as Rams fans, and they're hardcore fans, or there may be Chargers fans who are from San Diego and now make that trip up, but day one Los Angeles Rams fans, day one Chargers fans, that hardcore that's developed over time, that does not, I mean, it does not, you don't have that here. Now, it can work, but it takes time. Now, the issue with the Chargers is they needed to rebrand. Just the name Los Angeles Chargers sounds weird, and it will sound weird for a long time. So I don't know if there's a pathway to success for the Rams. I don't think there's a pathway towards success for the Los Angeles Chargers.
And then as we wrap up our conversation here, in the college football playoff rankings, there's a top 25.
Yeah.
People don't usually get further than number 6 when you're talking about a playoff ranking. But number 22 is USC, Southern California, sitting there. Is Clay Helton saving his job? What's going on with there's so much going on in management there, and obviously with the top of the school, and so much going on with the change in athletic department. Is Clay Helton still maybe going to be the coach next year?
Clay Helton does have a chance to keep his job, because I think he hasn't done a terrible job, but by USC standards, if your standard is a playoff team, a national championship team, they're 13-11 over the last 2 seasons. So just forget about this season. You have to combine last season too. And so this is not a championship team. This is a Holiday Bowl team. That's a good team. What is your bar of success? And you got a new president, a new people in charge there. I think you should go out and get a championship coach. That being said, that is not a simple task at USC. Pete Carroll, everyone loves Pete Carroll. He was a third choice there.
I know, yeah.
So we'll see. Clay Helton is an amazing human being, a great coach. I just don't think he's the right coach for this team.
Yeah, when my wife was covering USC, when she first started, Paul Hackett was the coach.
Right.
And then that went sideways. And Pete Carroll was like a last-minute afterthought. He's got no attachment to the school. We can't go outside the program. And then obviously we saw what happened there. Is Urban Meyer, do you think
that is
that's
the
guy
name
here?
A lot of fans would like to see, just because of his track record of success, that if you bring him in, you're going to be competing. And I know he has some stuff that has happened in his past, but I think there's a lot of football fans that just want to see that team competing again. And I don't know how you can bring Clay Helton back. There are so many fans who just want to move on and get a new coach. So that's the big name out there. But, Rich, historically, they have not gone that big name guy.
Arash, thanks for coming in, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I get a long drive back.
Yeah,
Rich.
you do. Well, just make sure. Would you mind going on Waze to make sure that he can
quickest
see
way possible.
just the quickest way, just to avoid to avoid any traffic?
For sure.
You know, because sometimes if you make a right instead of a left out of the lot, forget it. You're just staring at taillights for at least another 100 feet. You know what I'm saying? Would you mind doing that?
I'm on it.
Thank you. Good to see you, man.
Thanks.
844-204-RICH. Your phone calls, and we'll check on the poll question when we come back here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.